And once you're ready to make the right ones, you just need to do the same thing since, if your character is symmetrical, and then just duplicate the values over. You should be good to go. Let me see. I want to rotate this a little bit more that way. And I'm just trying to make sure it matches the contours of the brow line, so it's not flared out in any direction too much. All right, that looks good. That looks good. All right. So let's do the right version now. Save your file. We'll go back over to joints, and we're going to, I wish we could just duplicate or mirror it, but I've seen some tricky things happen when you try to mirror joints. So we're not going to do that. We're going to just do it manually. It'll be better. It'll be great practice. And it'll also help you with that repetition. Again, repetition is crucial and in the memorization and knowing how to do this. And you won't have to like look at any documents or anything like that. So eyebrow. This is going to be R, inner. And select the head again. Right here. All right, and we want this to be the same as the other one, just different values, so it looks like it's mirrored over. So we can do the same thing. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to go back to my snippet tool, and I'm going to just copy this over. Now I have my snippet tool, move it out the way, and I just want to go in and type in these values on here. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to put in the same values at first, and then I'm going to worry about mirroring it over. All right, so now we want to mirror this over. So for our X, for our Y, let's see if we put this at, oops. Undo. We should go to, I don't think it'll matter if we go to world node or go to world, we're still in orientation. Let me see what this does. So we're going to put this as a negative. Right? And then we may want to just change. Let's see, if we do this, we want it to go up at the same. Yeah, so we're going to want this to keep the same rotation. So if we go to rotate now, we're going to rotate on our Z, and we want that to be, let me see if that's a negative. Nope. Let's see what moves when I rotate this. It all does. Oh, interesting. Let's see what happens if I just make these all negative. Yeah, that's not what I want. It's in the right orientation. Let's see. Yeah, see, but we need to rotate it where X is still down so that they move the same way. So let's rotate this way. And then we do this as a full 180. And you can just match it on the contours of this highlight that's right here on the brow. I'm just matching that highlight. But for the most part, it's in the same spot. So if we select these and you want to like start raising up the eyebrows, you know, you can just go like, you can raise them up like that, and that's our goal. So it looks like I still need to rotate this one here. And then how close are those to our values? They're kind of close, actually. I think they're flip-flopped a little bit. So it looks like this one would still be a positive 73.815. And see, that's why it's good to have a snapshot so you can see what the values are. So you don't have to keep going back and forth and clicking on different controls. The other one that would match, this one is 130. So I think this one might need to be, it's a positive still, so it'll be a 131.829. There you go. So that looks better. And then the other value that was different, this is a negative 36. That looks fine to me though. That looks fine to me. So if we select both and we're ready to move them, that's fine. How is it getting in that number? So if this one is negative 136 and our other rotation was a 48.575, but our default was a 131.892 for our X. Let's see if we do negative 131.829. That looks good. That looks right. All right. So negative, positive, and then instead of 48, because that would make it if it's flipped over the other way, which is what we don't want. Okay. So now these should be identical in how they're laid out on the face right now. I'm just double checking. So let's do our X. Let's move one X. That's pretty good. All right, there we go. Let's do our mid, our right mid. Save your file. And once we're done with the other two, eyebrow controls, we're gonna save our file and then save another iteration, and then we'll be in a good spot. So let's go back over here to our joint. Let's create another joint. We want this to still be connected to the head, and it's gonna be eyebrow R mid. Let's connect to the head, create. Again, let's do the same thing. Use your snippet tool, and let's grab our values from our mid. Select your mid joint, snippet tool. All right, and now let's type these in. Again, let's just type in the same values that you have so that we can get it matched up first, and then we'll worry about getting it to be mirrored. And again, yeah, just take your time putting these values in. No need to rush. That's when you'll start messing up. You'll start putting in things that you don't need in there, and you have to start over. This is 0.074. All right, so this looks like it's identical. Again, what we want to do is, what was that, the Y? Negative 14. All right, so undo. We want this to be a negative. So now we're in the right spot. We want our orientations, our rotations, to be correct now. And so what we did on the last one was we turned this into a negative number. We're also going to want to, that's our X. Y was 85.2, that was still fine. And then this one is 85.29, which is still fine, but it's off a little bit. So we're going to need to rotate it like this. So see, that's a 155. Let's go to our front view. I just want to see how they look next to each other. That looks pretty good. Let's see. I just needed to change it a little bit. So those move up and down correctly. That looks pretty good. Let me see. I don't see. Yeah, that looks good. I kind of like that. Let's look at this one close up. I'm pressing F to zoom in on selected, and then it also helps you rotate around selected doing that as well. Yeah, this looks fine. All right. Let's do our last one. Joint, and then eyebrow, outer, and then select head. Move it into location. Let's get it matched up first. Let's select it and then use your snippet tool. All right, now we're going to select this. Ooh, there's a piece of hair in the way. That's fine though. Put in the same values from the snippet tool. All right, so now this matches, and we want to get it over to the other side. We did what, a negative on the X, and that gets us over to the other side. And then we're going to want to adjust these rotation values. And I think we kept X what it was, but we rotated it negative. And that sticks out a little strange. So I think we only need to rotate it back this way a little bit. Ah, I see. We need to rotate it on our Z and our that way. Yeah, because X is still down. So let's see what these values look like. It's 274. So this one's 72.69. 72 point. So this should be the same probably. So to be 72.829. Yeah, see that's fine. The other one was 291. Interesting. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference from the other one. That looks fine though right there. I'm just trying to gauge it and get a visual measure of what that looks like compared to this one. I think it needs to be moved in more. This one's sticking out a little too much. That looks good though. Maybe rotate this down a little bit more. All right, let's save our file. And then let's select both and move them just to make sure everything's moving how we expect it. Okay, Save it again. So that's what we have for